All right, what do we have here? Everything lost for month ends. Sell 371 profits. This nice margins.
Yeah, so that's healthcare business. It's a kind of new business. I never actually checked any of those. So it's like a care agency, but they also have like buildings for like people who live there. So it's kind of like a mix. And it's also for like younger people with different disabilities and stuff. So as you can see, the profit margins are pretty good for those, because usually care agencies have like 10% maximum, very slow, very low margins, but this one is much better. And what's very confusing for me is the balance sheet. I just don't understand it. I also send you that. As you can see, for example, factoring charges. I think they have like an ongoing invoice financing, and they pay so much money for those charges just for, I don't know what's the reason there.
So, I mean, with all those things, I would go and ask them directly, right? Like, why is this so much? What's going on here? What is this insurance? Why is that so much? Contract stuff, like everything that is above here, that is kind of like taking a significant part, like salaries. I would dive in and see, okay, how many employees do you have? Right? How much you paying? Why so much? Does it make sense to have so much? Can we save some costs? Just to understand what's possible. That's the goal in the P&L, just to find out each line item, what is it? And can we save it? It's kind of like what I told you guys in the past, like every business got a giraffe. Did I tell you the story about the guy that went into a business, wanted to buy a business, then he saw like a few million a year expenses on the P&L, sponsoring a giraffe in a circus somewhere. So it's kind of like when you see stuff like that, that's the goal in the P&L, to find out, okay, what can you do to save money if you are going to be the owner, or what can you do to increase profits or increase revenues? Obviously here, we don't have details on the income and revenues. So for example, if I had different products, I would want to understand what makes the most of the revenues, for example. Is it one specific product? Is it few products? Is it one client, few clients? Here it's a bit different because it's obviously the type of business.
They have like 70 different clients. It's just like they're providing care for them. But what you were asking about, so salaries is the biggest part of it, obviously, because it's just service business. It's just people business. And they have actually shortage of people. They need like 9 new employees, so it will be higher as well.
It's all right? But I would figure out, like I said, what's going on with the factoring thing. The rent, I would figure out what's the agreement there. Is it going to renew soon? Is there a long-term agreement? Who owns the real estate? Yeah, so all those line items are worth checking it out. Staff training, I see. I mean, but overall, what is the question here then?
The main question was about the balance sheet, because it was just super confusing for me in terms of the items.
Yeah, so I didn't see different months, right? So we want to see, here's the thing with financials, it's not like what we're really going to see in financials is to get a better understanding, snapshot or view on the business, right? So what's the differences between every month? If I had an option to see everything in an Excel sheet and to do percentages, that would be easier as well, right? To see different changes in different line items and to understand, and just to then ask that. The only thing we can do with the P&L and balance is to then just go and ask a lot of questions, because it's not like there's much we can do with it. Those are the stats that we received. We just need to go out there and start to ask questions. What I see in the chat here, I looked at the care home, genuine consulting. Issue was employee numbers and staffing is a problem in England. These businesses, if you have any ideas about that. Otherwise, they are all right returns.
Yeah, so this business is actually, it's not like elderly care, it's more like disabled. So they have a much higher fees from the council for everyone in the UK who knows this kind of sector. So it's much better. As you can see, the margins are much better. So you can afford to pay people more as well and pay them over time. Why in like home care, is the margins are super low, and it's hard to find people because they usually get paid like 9, 10, maybe 11 pounds per hour, which is super low. And people just don't want to do this work for that money, because like councils pay like 15, 20 pounds per hour for that service. So there's not enough margin.
Is that a broker deal or off market?
No, it's off market. But by the way, like,
yeah, I see the factoring. Yeah.
Do you usually see like directors' loans on a balance sheet like that?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, definitely makes sense. It's a way for him to just recoup some capital without paying taxes. That's the director.
Yeah, so there's like Ahmed. There's like 2 more, and then there's some property firm, which I don't know.
Yeah, it's very common actually. It's probably one of the best things for them to do, to not pay a lot of taxes and then to sell.
And it
get more
seems
money
like they
from
have
it.
like recurring factoring accounts, so it seems like it's a percentage of the revenue,
Yeah, that's okay.
or like
Probably they have some
or like
yeah, probably a
the
factoring
receivables.
kind of receivables accounts. It's totally makes sense with businesses that
Because
have
it
loans with cash
grows
flow.
over time, right?
Yeah,
Which is weird.
it's very common. I wouldn't be scared of that specifically. I would just dive into the details and figure out what are the terms, what's going on there, why they even used factoring in the first place. Because I'm not familiar with the sector as much, so I don't know what's the requirement for cash flow and what's the agreement, what terms they have with the factoring company as well. I would dive into find out deposit, computer, equipment. But other than that, I don't see like anything. Yeah, so those loans are the other, I guess, guys. I would figure out those loans, what happened here really specifically to understand. But it's totally
Those are
okay.
directors as well.
Yeah, it's good.
Just redacted the names.
I'll figure out what is this. Like everything that is kind of like above and is a bit over the top, I will find out what's the details here.
And what will be the provision for corporation tax? It's just the money they hold for corporation tax to pay for the like previous year or something?
Potentially, yeah, ask them. There's also different terms will be saved a bit differently as well, provisioning. I'll find out what is this? What's the payable thing as well?
That's just like wages.
I don't see anything weird. I mean, it's definitely fine. The loans are totally fine, man. I wouldn't be worried about it too much, especially if people want to take take loans against their assets. It's totally fine. Or they just want to even potentially, maybe they did have some cash flow problems and they wanted to invest in the business and they basically,
I think they have multiple businesses, so maybe they're using cash from this one to.
So definitely makes sense to just pay less taxes and figure things out between different businesses.
So far, I got like 2.5x on like acquisitions loan or some combination of like invoice financing plus those Corona loans from UK up to 500,000 unsecured.
2.5x on cash flow?
Yeah, that's like between 6 and 10% for 6 years, something like that.
Cool.
But it's just it's gonna be more expensive than 2.5x, I guess. Just trying to figure out some kind of funding before I make an offer.
Yeah,
I'm not too far away from
no, that's awesome. I mean, and even if you're, so what was the Corona loan Dara is asking?
RLS is gonna be up to 500k unsecured, and that's 6 to 10%.
Which bank? Which bank you're talking to right now?
Oh, so that's just a government scheme. I can't remember what is this. Some bounce back loan for Corona stuff.
Good stuff.
It's from the broker, so broker said it can be used for acquisition, so I just trust him.
Stuff, man. No, it looks interesting. I would just dive in. Guys, here's the thing. When you get in financials, you just want to dive in and figure out details and see if you don't see red flags at the end of the day. That's the biggest thing with financials. And obviously you will learn more about the financials when you do your due diligence with kind of like if you want to dive into kind of like the details, that's where you can really find out if they're showing real numbers or it's completely different. Sweet. Thank you, Martin. Okay, cool, guys. Yeah. Any last questions, anyone? See, we're on the hour. Otherwise, I will see you next week. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Duane is asking, how's the roll-up going? Yeah, I mean, we're looking at which one you're referring to. I don't know which one you're referring to. But actually, someone just sent me like 6 marketing companies. For those who have marketing companies in the pipeline, it would be interesting, actually, with their roll-up. Thank you for your time, as always. Yeah, no worries. I position myself with Michael's roll-up. There is a conversation right now, but they're potentially doing another round of financing for 100% finance, 16 companies. Yeah, we'll see. There's no official conversation about an IPO yet right now, and even if there is, to be honest, legally, I don't even need to talk about it. But there was an initial conversation. I'll just say that. Thank you for that. I just want to make sure. How can I position myself to banks, Dara? Just as an entrepreneur looking to buy a business. Keep it simple. I'm an entrepreneur looking to buy a business. This is my background. I don't care what's your background. Use it as an advantage. And banks should feel like you're the best possible prospect to own this business. That's how you should make them feel. And I don't care if your background, like I said to everyone, even if guys, your background is driving at Uber, you need to use that, the best thing that can ever happen to a business like that. Yeah, my background is in transportation. I'm going to use that to go to buy and grow a business like this one. All right, everyone, have a great week. I appreciate you all. Take care.